Hello everyone, Kiki here, and I am back with uh, a new video for you guys. And so we left off at this, where the two priests from Kyoto actually came by and saying, well, if McCurran can't perform, they're going to destroy not really destroy, but strip the shrine down because they don't think that Asagi is ready or not good enough. So that's where we are left off. And our character had to blow up with our big mouths. So, as you two know, McCurran is in the back room right now, so that the doctors can give him a medical examination. And here you two are talking about the honor of Yamato family without even praying to without even paying McCurran a visit to give them a hard stare, which caused them to wince and silence them for a short moment. We came all this way here because we were worried about McCurran. Then why are you trying to leave before even paying him a visit? That's because you don't want to bother the poor guy. You're here just to being considerate. Then let me say one thing. I thought Liz took another step forward. Exactly took the time to speak with both of you, even though he is worried sick about his father right now, and you two wanted to talk about was his inheritance rights. If you were really trying to be considerate, then wouldn't it be better to let Asaki go and be by his father's side? Besides, even though you all might not be closely related, you are still family. Please be careful about it. Who is really the one doing something stupid? How dare you, priest, one said. Shouldn't it be the head family's job to make sure that Asaki can be there for his father right now? Was it really necessary to waste so much time talking about how stupid things like honor of your family name at this time like this? Your relative's life is in danger. And if you two were real Shinto priests, then am I sure you know the answer? I carefully strung each and every word together. The two priests were dumbstruck with their mouths wide open. Asaki appeared to be overcome with surprise as well as he gazed right at me. Then Asaki, go to where McCurran is, so we can continue talking about this after we hear how McCurran is doing. We're leaving. We cannot let this get in our way of McCurran's health, or it will slowly in our name. And then the two priests mumbled one another as they hurried out of the shrine. Jesus Christ. After making sure the two noisemakers had gone, I suddenly turned my gaze over to Saki, who was standing right by me. I gently held Asagi's hand as he stared at me in blank amazement. Asagi, you need to be with McCurran right now. I'm sure he wants you by his side now. Yeah, Asagi said. Asagi blinked for a moment before nodding in response. After that, Asagi immediately gave himself a light slap on the cheek and headed over to the back room. Even then, he did not let go of my hand. I wondered how many hours had gone since then. I was waiting for Asagi in his room. Yukio, who heard what happened in the city, was standing right by my side. Of course. Of freaking course. He's going to... La 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 la. So many thoughts. A long silence rang over the room. Only time went by. Of course. Mikoto's probably worried, especially how kind of close the two are, and I mean, like how unhuman if you don't care. I mean, Asaki sure's taking a while. Well, yeah. I mean, like, you can't say, oh yeah, you're dying in a few seconds. So it's not like that. So worried about something, and I have skipped all over that on accident. Yeah, I've had something I need to take care of tonight, but I'm not comfortable leaving you all alone. You don't need to worry about me. Besides, I don't want you to keep you from doing what you gotta do. How should I put it? You look like you're worried sick, so I guess I'm feeling a bit uneasy. Well, I guess you could say I'm worried. Actually, maybe I'm just... Yukio started to speak slightly more ambiguous manner. The sliding door opened, the examination was over, and Shintaro and Asaki entered the room. Asaki was quite pale, and Shintaro appeared to be unusually serious. How's McCurran? I could not wait any longer. I had to know. Asaki feebly shook his head, and Shintaro took a step forward to explain in his place. Things are going to get worse for McCurran tonight. Oh shit. Yukio and I were unable to speak. The pensive expression on Asaki's face told us everything we needed to know. Yeah, let's stand by his side instead of trying to cheer him up, because you know what? It's not the correct idea to try to cheer him up. He probably would want, I noticed that Asaki looked like he could collapse at any minute now, so I went over to stand by his side. I reached out to Asaki to support him. I gently gazed into his eyes. Asaki. After Asaki took my hand and creased his eyes, he tightly squeezed my hand back. A bit, finally, his hand was trembling. Yeah, secret. Definitely a secret. I put some thought into it and squeezed his hand back. Asaki looked back at me with a wan smile. Sorry for getting you so upset. There was nothing you should feel sorry for. Don't worry about it. I shook my head and smiled at him to help ease his pain. Asaki hung his head low, tightly squeezing my hand once more. Shintaro, let's go. There's nothing else we can do to help. Yukio said before giving me a wink. What is with people leaving us alone in the room? Jesus. Okay, contact me with your Shikigami if Mikoran's condition changes. Yeah, I will. Thanks, guys. Shino, please take care of things while we're gone. I will do. I will do. After Asaki had struggled to express those words of gratitude, Yukio calmly nodded back at him. Then Yukio patted me on the shoulder and helped Shintaro, who still looked worried, out of the room. Asaki and I were left in this quiet room together. After keeping himself for a while, Asaki suddenly opened his mouth to speak. Mikoran's condition is getting worse. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you. Oh, I don't even know where to start. It's just too much to bear. Asaki. There was nothing I could say after I saw how exhausted Asaki looked. Okay, and we're at a checkpoint. And I can go past because I had enough for this checkpoint. Yeah, his father is in danger and so is the shrine. Oh my god. Yeah, Asaki's overwhelmed. So, yeah. Asaki, is there anything I can do? Anything? I do anything. I just want to help you. I plead to him on impulse. Asaki gazed into my eyes and lightly exhausted. It exhaled for a moment. Kiki, I can I hold you in my arms? I never expected to hear Asaki say those words under his breath like that. What? I stared at Asaki in blank amazement, unable to understand what just I heard. However, Asaki's eyes were serious and he did not appear to be joking in the slightest. Yeah, he needs this. He needs a hug. With the earnest expression of my eyes, I lightly nodded to him to let him know it was okay. His large hands immediately pulled me closer. Before I realized it, I was already deeply wrapped in his arms. Submerged in his warmth, I could faintly feel the beating of his heart. I was finally able to understand how worried he truly was when I felt how fast his heart was beating. What bothers me the most that I worried him until the very end. Saki stated in a murmur as he wrapped me in his arms. Only if I was stronger, then the shrine would have been in good hands, but how many people are trying to shut the shrine down and strip it of its name? My father, my ancestors fought to protect this shrine, and I want to protect it as well. However, I am still so weak, so there's not much I can do. What am I going to do from now on? Saki said, as if he were exhausted while he tightly held me in his arms. I slid my arms around his back as well as while trying to think of the right words to say. It's going to be okay, Asagi. I'm here for you. We'll find a way to get through this together. So let's think together. Let's think about how I can do to help you. Of course, I, of all people, wouldn't be able to cure his father's illness. There wasn't even a way we could increase Asagi's power as a diviner. I felt powerless. The only way I could come up with these comforting words. Kiki, he questioned. Even though I was so frustrated with myself, Asagi still gently nodded back at me. Exhausting. Silence regained the night, deepened into the night, filled with these hopes and dreams. Saki and I embraced all throughout the night. Ooh. So this little part is basically like a cap of next chapter. So, and guess where we are? We're on chapter 8. So, this is going to be fun. Okay, perhaps I had fallen asleep without even realizing it. But before I knew it, it was already bright outside. I began to think myself still half asleep. Thereupon, I felt some warm pressure on my shoulder. I glanced to my side. Saki was leaning against my shoulder, appeared to be asleep. Oh yeah, you two fell asleep holding each other. I was finally able to slightly grasp the situation. I could tell that this was Zaku's way of showing kindness, which tugged at my heartstrings. Oh, now thinking about how cute he is asleep. Really? There was no sign of Asaki waking up, no matter how long I watched him gently breathing. He was so unbearable, unlovable right now. I knew I couldn't be thinking this, but Asaki was so adorable right now. I felt that being this close to Asaki was proof of how much we trusted each other, which caused my chest to tighten even more. Jeez, I'm already here? You. I had to readjust myself a little because my shoulder was starting to hurt a bit. At that moment, Asagi began to slowly open his eyes. Oh, sorry, did I wake you? Mm, ooh, you have to hum? After giving me some, what, ambiguous response, Asagi leaned into me even more. Asagi. Mm. He continued to mumble and snuggle up against me, but he did not look like he was going to open his eyes any time. His large, warm body was completely pressed up against me. Sagi. Pillow. Oh, he is adorable. He's a cuddler, I guess. Asaki mumbled in half asleep manner before pressing his head against me. That was when I finally realized what was going on. To be honest, things had been tense since last night. After everything that happened. But I felt a little happy that Saki showed his vulnerable side to me like this the following day. That didn't change the fact that my heart was also racing, making it hard to breathe though. Saki closed his eyes and nestled against me once more. His vulnerable expression was now in plain view, which caused my heart to hammer against my chest even harder. I gently created some distance between us and left Asaki behind as I walked outside the room. While aimlessly wandering around the shrine, I eventually found myself in the main building. A great silence hung over the shrine, and the air was so clear as it could be. I spread my arms out and gently took in a deep breath. I placed my hand on my slightly warm cheeks. Just then, I heard the floor creak, and I could sense someone walking this way. It was Sasaki who was slowly walking over this way. It looked like he was finally able to get out of bed. Good morning, Asagi. After deeply nodding, Asagi stood motionless as he stared off a space. Asagi. I carelessly approached him. Asagi stared right at me, but his eyes told me nothing. Asagi. That good night. What? That's when Asagi said before I immediately laid down on the shrine floor. I squatted myself down right next to Asagi in a fluster. Asagi. I think he just fainted. Worried, I took a look at his face. He looked like the happiest sleeping baby in the entire world. Yet, Asagi's not a morning person. After I found out that he was only sleeping because he wanted to, and not because he was sick or anything, I felt completely relieved and my muscles tense. My tense muscles started to relax. At the same time, I found myself how adorable Asagi it was, and it was then when he is so vulnerable like this. I gently stroked Asagi's hair with my fingertips, and the morning slowly went by. So that is the end of chapter 7 and the beginning of chapter 8. So yeah, it's it's has been interesting because now uh, he's worried about his dad, which of course you're going to be worried about your family if something bad happens to him, and find out he's not a morning person and he's a cuddler. So um, yeah, it's a lot has happened. So I hope you guys like, and I hope you guys uh, enjoy this because I do. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.